Elephant Rock.
Not going to helicopter. It's okay.
Well, it's one of the few times that the rally actually came to a halt in its history, and that was in 1985. And ironically, the stage is named in memory of Terry Sabine, who was killed at Gomararus, not far from here, in 1986 in that helicopter crash. Well, Jean-Pierre Fontenay wins the stage today from Shinazuka and from Sabi. Masuoka, Alliot and Deli Delaverne finishing in line astern, on board again with Henri Magna. We're saying now in French. A moment ago we were ahead of Jean-Pierre at the Elephant Place, but we had a little problem. We tried to pass a big rock and broke the exhaust. We had to stop to open it up again. It was absolutely flattened. We're in fourth place. Shuri Masuoka in the 209 car. That was Fontenay we just saw there. Here's Masuoka at speed in the Mitsubishi Challenger, and Luc Alphand, the French ski champion, doing a great job. Mitsubishi, very proud of him at the moment. He's had top 10 finishes, stage after stage, skiing on the sand. Well, sadly, more problems on the rally. We heard late last night in a separate accident away from the rally, French driver Francis Bouni and co-driver Guy Alifet, who retired a week ago, were injured in a crash at the Mauritanian capital of Nouakchott, not so far from here, as they were heading for Dakar. Very, very sadly, the number of people in the other car, 5 Mauritanians, were killed in the collision with the rally car, which takes the toll of the last 20 years up to 38 killed now. Very, very sadly indeed. Jutta Kleinschmidt. Well, here we are at the bivouac, she said, where all the competitors get their food every night. The organisers provide hot meals for around 1,000 people during the stage. You hardly have time to eat, so you're really hungry by the time you get here in the evening. Quality of the food is fine. Today we got pasta and meat, whatever we want. Even the competitors who are still arriving at 4 o'clock in the morning have the chance to get hot food to get back some energy for the next stage. Bon appetit. Well, confirmation of today's stage: Fontenay, Shinazuka, Sabi, Masuoka, Philippe Alliot and Terry Delaverne. So Alliot passing Terry Delaverne in the last 20 kilometres of the stage today. Results coming in all the time at the moment, so we only know the top 6 overall. Fontenay from Sabi, Shinazuka, Masuoka, Schlesser and Alliot. And Fontenay going further and further away now, 46-minute lead over Sabi with 4 days remaining to Dakar. We're in the middle of this marathon section. No assistance tonight in Tajika. Tomorrow, Tajika to Attar, where the perfume comes from. Second day of the marathon, and they have to cross the Chinguetti dunes. They're shorter, but it's a big, big navigation problem. We'll be on air for that at 9:45 tomorrow night, UK time. 9:45, so make sure you join me, Mark Cole, for that. And if you missed any of the start of tonight, there are repeats tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow.
Dakar Rally with
Euromaster, the European tyre specialist,
and Mitsubishi Motors Corporation.
Oh God!
Titanic.
Coming up on Eurosport, the people who are really good with figures. Put those figures together correctly and they get top marks. But it's not a pure science. The examiners like a little artistry too. And how do they mark that? Well, that's hard to figure out. The European Figure Skating Championships, the ladies short and ice dance free programs, live tomorrow.
Come to me, my love.
With the presenting sponsors, Bailey's and Café de Colombia.
Dakar Rally with
Euromaster, the European tyre specialist.
and Mitsubishi Motors Corporation.
Welcome to Eurosport, welcome to our continuing coverage of the 20th Dakar Rally. Day 15 and stage 14, Tajika to Attar in Mauritania, just 4 days to go. Well, Richard Sainct out with a broken frame, and Dutch agricultural engineer Gerard Jamink wins the bike stage, the 10th winner in the 14 stages so far. Jean-Pierre Fontenay still leading as Bruno Sabi wins the stage for the 5th time, but many people stuck today in these dunes on the way to Attar. Jean-Louis Schlesser among them. Well, as always, a look back to yesterday. This was the Neymar to Attar stage, the elephant stage. But early in the day, Carlos Sotelo deciding not to continue. He had shoulder damage. He'd been 4th and was out of the rally. Richard Sainct dropped to 3rd behind Fabrizio Mioni after GPS problems struck both him and Mioni yet again. Alfie Cox and Andy Hayden, South African and Australian riding together. Hayden winning his 2nd stage by 3 minutes from Cox. Hayden 4th overall and Cox 5th overall, but Stefan Petterhansel still leading the rally by 32 minutes. Jean-Pierre Fontenay won his 4th stage after a day-long race with Kenjiro Shinazuka and keeps his overall lead by 46 minutes. But it all went wrong for Luc Alphand, the world champion downhill skier. His rear differential split, and he was out of the rally yesterday, having been as high as 28th overall. Well, we're not very lucky, Luc told us. We hit a rock which took out the rear differential plug. We dismantled everything, and we're able to carry on with just the front differential, but now it's all over. Well, and the front differential just couldn't hold on the rocks, and eventually that went. One drive shaft, then an upright, then everything. Everything that should be under was over, and it didn't work anymore. Well, that was yesterday. Let's have a look at today's stage. 394 kilometers from Tajika to Attar. Yes, that's where the perfume comes, Rose of Attar, through the famous Chinguetti dunes. 2nd day of a marathon, no assistance allowed last night, and shorter but big navigation problems. Well, of the bikes, just 71 of the 172 starters were left in the event last night. We have lost 60% of the entry, with the rally only 2/3 of the way through. Stefan Petterhansel, rally leader since last Thursday now, waiting for the off on his Yamaha. Can he win it for the record 6th time? Other bikers looking like ancient warriors waiting here in Mauritania. They know it's going to be a hard day ahead of them today. Fabrizio Mioni starting 2nd, Alfie Cox of South Africa starting 5th, Eric Bernard of France starting 9th, Richard Sainct on the number 5 KTM starting in 3rd place overall. And Gerard Jemink on the green KTM, the Flying Dutchman, starting in 7th place overall. Well, Fabrizio Mioni, an early casualty of the GPS. It's the 4th day, he's had problems. It's all gone wrong again. It's a big, well, I won't mention the word on air. Now just look at the scenery here in the Chinguetti dunes in the middle of Mauritania. This is the real Dakar. Stefan Peterhansel picking his way amongst the rocks as through comes Alfie Cox. A lot of problems finding the route today, even for GPS works, even for road books good. How do you work your way out of this maze? Stefan Peterhansel, though somehow charmed as always, just picks his way through them and continues at speed. Jordi Arcaron still in the running. Despite a lot of problems, 6th on the stage today and 8th overall in the rally. Alfie Cox we picked up, heading towards Attar on the final sections of the stage here in this wadi, a dried up riverbed. Climbing up out of the valley as our helicopter picks up more people stuck in the dunes. Now this is seriously deep stand. Here's Stefan Peterhansel coming up behind Alfie Cox. And the going is really tough now. This sand is so soft, the bike's just sinking it. If you stop for a second, it's get off and push, using first gear and hope you continue. Look at Peterhansel, what a master of these conditions. Surfing on the sand. Well, they have to work their way through this. Just look at the minuscule bike there, dwarfed by these ergs, these moving crescent dunes in the Chinguetti. Riding together, Gerard Jemink, the stage winner today, moves up from 7th to 5th place overall, and Alfie Cox alongside him, 3rd on the stage today. Stefan Peterhansel stuck again, right on the crest of a dune. He's going to have to dig this way out of this, but 4th quickest nonetheless, and giving very little of his lead away to Jemink. Mioni, who's 2nd on the stage, and Alfie Cox.
This sand is very soft.
Alfie Cox telling us just how soft it is. Well, Jordi Arcaron's arrived close to Richard Sainck. Sainck out of the race with a seriously broken chassis on his KTM. There's nothing Arcaron can do. He just shrugs encouragement to Sainck, but look at Sainck, tears in his eyes. So disappointed. The Frenchman then told us,
Le cadre cassé.
well, the frame's broken at the point where the shock absorbers are fixed to it.
Le cadre s'est arraché.
Frame's basically collapsed. It's down onto the rear wheel.
Je pense qu'il n'y a pas grand-chose à faire.
I don't think there's anything I can do because the rear wheel's touching the fuel tank. I can't go on like this in the dunes, and I think I'll be extremely lucky if I can get to the finish today.
Je pense pas pouvoir rallier l'arrivée aujourd'hui.
So what bad luck for Richard Sainck, the young French rider who had so many hopes, crashing out of the rally though a couple of times and really riding just to attack the whole rally. Off he goes on his new KTM lowrider. Wouldn't look out of place in a Harley-Davidson shop. Well, group of riders were turned back today. They were told by one of the medical helicopters they're going in the wrong direction. They're waved back. And at the time, we believe Britain's John Deacon was 4th in the running. Also in there, Jürgen Meyer. And Deacon losing 2 hours and 2 minutes, dropping him to 29th on the special stage, having, as I said, been, we believe, 4th at one time today. We understand there have been protests, but as no French riders are involved, well, surprise, surprise, it seems no actions are being taken. And it's dropped John Deacon down to 9th at the moment, but that's only 1 place down from last night, and there's still another 3 days to go after today. But we talked to Jemink, Mioni and Cox about their day.
I make a very good day because in the beginning of the track was a little bit difficult, but after 30 kilometers it was a little bit sandy, and Saint passed me, and I was together with Saint, and we had a lot of speed, and we catch the top guys after 100 kilometers.
Una speciale.
Well, Fabrizio Mioni saying, I thought this stage would be easy today, but there were a lot of stones and rocks. It was not so easy, with a lot of turning on the rocks, and you had to really concentrate all the time. It's very important, because if you lost your concentration for one moment, you'd fall. If you fell amongst those rocks, you'd have a long job at getting the bike out. Nonetheless, second overall after being second on the stage, but still 32 minutes behind Peter Hansel.
And then the last 50 kilometers home, we all decided to go a little bit harder and get to the finish, you know. But basically, it hasn't been it's been a hard day. Even though it was 350 kilometers, there were many stones today. I mean, we can't believe it's the Dakar, because the Dakar is meant to be sand, and today was more like an enduro more than a rally. But all in all, it's a good day.
Today's bike results: stage 14, Tajika to Attar, Jimink, the Flying Dutchman, winning from Mioni Cox, Peter Hansel, Hayden and Jordi Arcarons. As we said, John Deacon in 29th place after what seemed to be a bit of an organisational mix-up there. Doesn't drop John too far. He's in 9th place overall behind Peter Hansel, Mioni, Hayden Cox, Jimink, Bernard, von Zwitzwitz and Jordi Arcarons just ahead of him. 5 hours 55 minutes down on Peter Hansel, but still 2 hours ahead of 10th.
The most frightening tale of all.
DJ, where are you?
Did you hear it? Is not from our past, but from our future. Event Horizon.
Hallo, ich bin Norbert. In meiner Branche bin ich als Fachmann bekannt und gefragt. Ich arbeite für eine der bedeutendsten Handelsketten Europas. Mittlerweile gibt es schon mehr als 9000 Spezialisten wie mich, die für ihre Sicherheit da sind. Wir überprüfen, reparieren und wenn nötig wechseln ihre Reifen. Auf diesem Gebiet sind wir Profis. Für die Zufriedenheit unserer Kunden tun wir einfach alles, damit sie gerne wiederkommen.
Euromaster, the European tire specialist.
Surprised at just how far the new Mitsubishi Pajero will take you.
Hi! So, how about a ride?
The all-terrain vehicle that redefines freedom.
From the Challenge Stadium in Perth, Australia, the World Swimming Championships. Action-packed aquatic competition. Swimming, diving, water polo, synchronized swimming, open water swimming, synchronized diving even.
Highlights of the World Swimming Championships tonight at 23:15 CET. That's 10:15 UK.
With Arena and tourism in Malaysia. Back to the Paris-Dakar Rally with
Euromaster, the European tire specialist.
We're back on Eurosport on the Dakar, and we're looking at Cape Town's Alfie Cox meeting Adelaide's Andy Hayden. Both KTM
My name's
riders.
Alfie Cox and I come from South Africa. I'm 35 years old. I had my birthday on the Dakar, 6th of January, which was something special. It was the longest day of the Dakar, 1,060 kilometers. It was one of my best days that I had on the Dakar as well.
My name is Andy Hayden. I am from down under, Australia, Adelaide in South Australia. And this is my first Dakar. I'm on a support ride with KTM after in Australia I managed to win the Australian Safari. About the same again behind you, about 20 minutes.
Cox, meanwhile, a Roof of Africa
I started
winner.
racing in 1978, first with motocross, because that's where we all start out. And then in about 1983, I changed to rallies and enduros, and that's what I've been doing. I've been with KTM for the last 6 years. What? You gotta go. GPS man. Yeah. You, mate. No, he's gotta go. Mine is good. No.
My GPS has also given me problems. This one was in Australia. We did not use GPS, so this is my very first navigation. And yes, I am having some trouble with navigation. My GPS is playing up. Maybe 1-2 days I've had good GPS. The other days it's been playing up, giving me problems.
The last few days at the bivouac, every hour he came to me. Kitty, did the truck arrive? No. Fuck, shit, headache every day, I tell you, headache.
So portraited two of the greater characters here on the rally. Alfie Cox of Cape Town, that well-known honeymoon destination, and Andy Hayden of Adelaide, former Grand Prix city.
If I come back again next year.
Eurosport's television studio set up in the desert there as they just finish off with a quick late-night banter.
Turned up at Versailles there for scrutineering for our bikes. So we went out to tea there.
Versailles.
If you believe they had a cup of tea in Versailles, well, you're dreaming.